Dick Tracy. This 1990 Disney film is based on the 1930s comic strip of the same name, written by Chester Goulding and was produced by and starred Warren Beatty. Beatty must have called in favours with friends, as the cast is mainly A-listers, with Al Pacino as the main villain, Big Boy Caprice, supported by Dustin Hoffman, Paul Sorvino and Dick Van Dyke, and his then girlfriend, singer Madonna. Beatty had insisted on using all the characters from the original strip, just in case there wouldn't be a sequel, and luckily he did, because despite the A-list cast and 3 Oscars, Dick Tracy didn't achieve the same level of success as Batman, which was released a year earlier and never had a sequel. Some of the makeup for actors took up to 3 hours to apply, and because of this people were hired as makeup police to follow actors around on their lunch break and make sure they didn't eat certain foods that could ruin their prosthetics. Dick Tracy was meant to wear prosthetics as well, and Beatty tried on a few phony noses and jaws, but it was decided that it would only distract the audience from the movie. Henry Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy. Beatty is an extremely talented actor, director, producer and screenwriter, whose career spans over 6 decades. He is the only person to have been nominated for acting in directing, writing and producing the same film, and he did so twice. First with Heaven Can Wait, and again with Reds. He comes from humble beginnings. Both of his parents were teachers, his sister was the performer in the family, and moved to Hollywood to pursue an acting career. Seeing his sister's Shirley MacLaine's success, Beatty decided to try his own luck. His personal life has attracted almost as much attention as his work has done. He used to be known for having famous girlfriends. One of his former girlfriends, Cher, said Warren has probably been with everybody I know. He has been linked to workout guru Jane Fonda, engaged with actress Joan Collins, with whom he met while out with Jane. He was 22 at the time and Joan was 26. They went on a date and the actor allegedly moved in her apartment shortly after. The actress has confirmed that they were engaged and she fell pregnant, but chose to have an abortion, and said this: "I had an abortion, it would have been the death of my career. I was a feminist before the word was heard, and I should do what I felt was right for me. It would have ruined my life, I didn't have a tinge of regret." He allegedly dated 16-year-old Cher while being in a relationship with Natalie Wood. After the pair broke up, he started seeing Leslie Caron, who recalls him waking her up in the middle of the night because he was worried that she wasn't thinking of him. Caron later realised it was a sign of his narcissism. The list of women goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, until 1990 when he convinced his then girlfriend, Madonna, to star in his movie, Dick Tracy, but the relationship didn't last. He met his future wife on set of Bugsy. After a dinner date, he famously asked his co-star, "Do you want to have a baby with me?" The pair welcomed their first baby in January 1992 and got married 2 months later, and have added 3 more children to their family. When asked why he waited till he was 54 to get married, the actor said this: "I always felt I wasn't trying to avoid marriage, I was trying to avoid divorce. I had no doubt when I met Annette that it was time to get married." Their daughter Kathleen Beatty came out as a transgender man at 14 and named himself Stephen Ira Beatty. The star's son opened up about who he was back in 2012, and Warren had this to say: "He's a revolutionary, a genius and my hero, as are all my children." In a 2016 interview, the actor opened up about an incident from early on in his career. The then 25-year-old was invited to a producer's home party, where he met actress Marilyn Monroe. The pair had a stroll on a beach. He said, "It was more soulful than romantic." He played piano for the actress and the next day received a phone call with the news that the actress had passed away, making him one of the last people to have ever seen her alive. Alfredo James Pacino as Big Boy Caprice. Born in New York City on April 25, 1940, he is the son of Italian-American parents Rose Gherardi and Salvatore Pacino. As a teenager, Al wanted to become a professional baseball player, but soon changed his mind and started acting lessons, which he financed by working low-paying, unskilled jobs. He struggled quite a bit at the start of his acting career, as his mother didn't approve of his career choice and he had to leave the house. He'd perform in New York basement theatres, but the pay was so low that he sometimes would have to sleep rough, or stay in theatres, or a friend's house. In 1969 he made a Broadway debut and won a Tony Award for his performance in a play, Does the Tiger Wear a Necktie? And only a few years later, director Francis Ford Coppola cast Pacino in the film that would make him a star, The Godfather. Pacino has been in a whole lot of blockbusters, but he's passed on just as many. Most notably, the megastar was offered the role of Han Solo in Star Wars. In an interview in 2013, the actor admitted that he didn't take the role because he didn't understand the script. Pacino even passed on Die Hard. When asked about this particular blunder, his only response was, "I gave that boy a career." He didn't get married but has 3 children. The eldest of all is Julie Marie. His daughter with acting coach Jan Tarrant. His son Anton James and daughter Olivia Rose were born from a relationship with actress Beverly D'Angelo. Given that Al Pacino is just over 80 years old, it seems as though he is committed to not being committed. Most recently, in early 2022, he was rumoured to be dating a 28-year-old woman, Noor Al-Fala, after the couple were spotted out on dinner. It looks like Noor doesn't mind their 53-year age gap, as she had previously been connected to Rolling Stones frontman Mick, 78, and Clint Eastwood, 92. He is still acting. His latest work includes House of Gucci and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Madonna as Breathless the Blank Mahoney. Madonna was the third of 6 children in a Catholic family. Her mother died of breast cancer when Madonna was only 5 years old. Her father moved the family to Michigan, where he married one of the women hired to care for the household. She has opened up how hard that period was for her. She moved to New York City in 1978 with $37 to her name. Madonna moved into an apartment in New York City's East Village, a poorer neighborhood filled with crime and drug problems. Her first jobs included figure modeling for artists and acting in low-budget movies. The album Madonna was released in July 1983. Her appearance in the film Desperately Seeking Susan in 1985 led to another popular single and video, In the Groove. She married actor Sean Penn in the same year. Upon making her first $1 million, she indulged in buying a Frida Kahlo painting. "That was always my goal," she said on her art collection. "When I was married to Sean, I said, when I make my first $1 million, I'm going to buy art." I bought a self-portrait of hers. At the time it was rather inexpensive because people didn't know who she was. The release of Madonna's album Like a Prayer came at the same time as the breakup of her marriage. The video of the title song, showing Madonna confessing to a priest and then engaging in suggestive behaviour with him, caused a stir in the Catholic Church. She started seeing Warren in 1989 and agreed to be in his movie, for which she wrote I'm Breathless, Sooner or Later, and Vogue. She claims she wrote Vogue in a few hours after quizzing Warren about all the classic movie stars of Hollywood he had dated. Madonna received a modest salary for the film, apparently earning only $1,440 a week. But her contract included royalties, not to mention all the money she earned from 7 million copies sold of I'm Breathless. Madonna is a savvy businesswoman and a guaranteed money-making machine. With sales of over 300 million records, she's the most successful female music artist of all time. With revenue of over 1.5 billion from her concert tickets, she's the highest grossing solo touring artist of all time. In 1996, she had a daughter Lourdes Maria Sison Leon with her personal trainer and actor Carlos Leon. She's a graduate of LaGuardia School of Performing Arts and has done some acting roles as well as modelling and is keen to prove herself in her own right. On the 22nd of December 2000, she married English producer Guy Ritchie at Skibo Castle in Scotland. They welcomed a son, Rocco Ritchie, into the world just a few months earlier. The pair went their separate ways in 2008, and according to their divorce settlement, Ritchie was to receive 50 to 60 million, which includes the value of their London pub and Wiltshire estate. However, the couple issued a joint statement calling the settlement misleading and inaccurate. Their son Rocco is an up-and-coming artist. He has been displaying and selling his art under pseudonym Red since 2018, and only recently has revealed it's his art. David Banda was the first child that Madonna adopted from Malawi back in 2006, when he was barely a year old. He is now 16 years old and is an aspiring football player. And because of him, the family moved to Portugal in 2017 as he signed with Junior Football Academy there. In an interview she said this, What he has more than anything is focus and determination. I'm pretty sure he got it from me. He's the one I have the most in common with. I feel like he gets me. He has more of my DNA than any of my other children. Let's see what happens. It's still early days for everyone. After adopting David, Madonna applied to adopt a little girl, Mercy, but Malawi's High Court rejected her application based on the fact that Madonna isn't a resident in the country. However, later the Supreme Court allowed her to adopt the little girl, and in 2017, Madonna opened Mercy James Hospital in Malawi in honour of her daughter. In 2017, the singer adopted twin girls Esther and Stelle Sisson, who are turning 10 this year, and can be seen on the star's social media singing, dancing and playing piano. Her latest love interest, her backup dancer, Ala Malik Williams, is almost 40 years her junior, but that didn't seem to have bothered the couple who met in 2015 and started dating in 2018. They called it quits, however, this spring, stating that the singer is focusing on her new music and family. The Guardian recently wrote an article of Madonna using TikTok to recycle the shock value of her heyday by posting about sex toys and suggestive content. Dick Van Dyke as District Attorney John Fletcher, who refuses to prosecute Caprice as he's on his payroll. Dick is an American actor born on 13th of December 1925, West Plains, Missouri. When considering joining the Air Force while he was still 17, he found out his parents had lied to him about his birthday. His mother explained that they had changed his birthday from December to March due to the fact that he was born premature. But Van Dyke went to the most straightforward talking person in his family, his grandmother, who told him the truth. He was conceived out of wedlock. Later his parents confirmed it and changed his birthday back to December. Despite these revelations, Dick did leave high school to join United States Army Air Force, but was denied enlistment due to being underweight. He was eventually accepted to be a radio announcer. But he's no quitter, and 60 years later, at the age of 79, he graduated high school in 2004. He is largely known for his title role in The Dick Van Dyke Show, but his work is too extensive to name here. He has received multiple Primetime Emmys and one Daytime Emmy, as well as a Grammy for Mary Poppins and a Tony for Bye Bye Birdie. He's only missing an Oscar. He married his first wife, Marjorie Willett, on February 12, 1948. The pair had 4 children, Christian, Barry, Stacey and Carrie. They divorced in 1984. At the age of 86, he married a 40-year-old makeup artist, Arlene Silver, and the pair are still together nearly 10 years later. He was recently spotted handing out cash to unemployed Californians, with people calling him Angel. Dustin Lee Hoffman as Mumbles, Caprice's fast-talking henchman. He took on his little cameo role as a favour for his longtime friend Warren Beatty. Hoffman's family tried to discourage him from an acting career by saying he wasn't good looking enough for the job. Perhaps because of this, he takes preparations for his roles very seriously. It took him 2 years to prepare for his role as autistic savant Ray in Rain Man. He'd befriend autistic people and would go on different activities with them to learn mannerism. In contrast to the 2 years he spent in preparing for Rain Man, he only had 2 days free to shoot Dick Tracy, so he pulled 2 18-hour days for his friend. He has been married twice, first to Anne Byrne, adopting her daughter from previous relationship, Karina. In 1998, she was accused of stealing £5,000 from a company she worked at, and ended up doing community service and paying back losses. The pair had a daughter together, Jenna. She has followed her father's footsteps and appeared in few of the movies he starred in, such as The Wedding Singer and Wag the Dog. The couple had the misfortune to live next door to where a bomb accidentally exploded in the basement. A documentary was made about it, and you can see Dustin standing in the street in the aftermath of the explosion. After separating from his first wife, he married his childhood friend Lisa Godsigan, with whom he had 4 children, all of whom he helped get a role in one of his many movies. Their first son, Jake Hoffman, is the only one who continued with his acting career. After appearing in his first movie Rain Man, alongside his father, Jake continued on this path, appearing in Click, The Wolf of Wall Street and many more. Their daughter Rebecca appeared with her dad in Hook, but did not continue with acting soon after. Neither did Alexandra, who had a small role in 2002's Moonlight Mile. She also dated fellow actor Jonah Hill. Hoffman was one of the actors named and shamed during the height of Me Too movement.
when 7 women came out and accused him of sexual misconduct. Hoffman apologised to some accusers, saying he felt terribly. Since then, his legal representatives have deemed subsequent allegations as defamatory falsehoods.
Charlie Korsmo as Kid. Charlie got into acting because to him it looked easy, and he wanted to get out of school and make enough money to buy a Nintendo. He got himself a handful of roles in big productions, including Dick Tracy and Hook, in which he played Peter Pan's son. But he soon grew tired of the business, and though he initially got into acting to get out of school, he left acting behind to focus on his academic pursuit. He earned a degree in physics and got a law degree from Yale Law School, after which, in 2011, President Barack Obama nominated him as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Barry Goldwater Scholarship and Excellence in Education Foundation. In an interview, when asked which of his achievements he's most proud of, he was very modest in his answer and responded, his wife and 2 children.